Hi guys, welcome back. Ashley here from Shades of Love. I hope you're doing well because this is crazy and the weeks are going by really fast. The days are long. So I really hope you guys are doing well. Let me know down below how you're doing. Anything new going on? In the meantime, I'm going to get ready to read you some more of the story that I have been reading. And I hope you like it and are liking it. And leave me a comment below also to let me know how you like it. Do you? Do you hate it? What do you want more of? I want to know because I want to bring you what you want. So anyway, if you are new here, welcome back. If you are not, that does not make sense, does it? If you're new here, welcome. I hope you like enough to stay and continue reading along with us. If you are not new here and you've been following along, then welcome back. If you are new here, then I hope you will subscribe and hit the notification bell so you can be notified when I upload a new video. And if you like it, give me a thumbs up. Let me know. That way I know if I'm doing okay or if I need to change up or if I should just stop altogether. Anyway, I'll stop. I'll stop right here and we'll get on to the story because that's why you're here, right? Here we go. School's Out, Chapter 3, by me. Mr. Cooper. Her eyes dilated, telling him what he already knew. She wanted him. She wanted him to bend her over the desk and punish her. It was precisely what he wanted too. He yearned to feel her walls clenching around his cock as he thrust in and out of her. One day without being inside of her was torture for him, especially since they only saw one another here at work during the week. You are, aren't you, Miss Thomas? He walked around to the front of his desk and sat on the edge of it, crossed his arms in front of his chest, and waited for her to answer. The answer he knew she was going to give him. He knew the answer because her body and her face told him what her reply would be. Her body always responded to her voice, or to his voice. And this was no exception. If only his wife would react this way, then maybe he wouldn't be seeking release in Miss Thomas. Who in the fuck was he kidding? Even if his wife did, he'd still seek out the teacher. With her luscious curves and sensual demeanor, she was a knockout, and he couldn't help but give in to the temptation. Just like every other male specimen in this fucking school, students and teachers alike. Oh yeah, students. Because even the 6th grade boys were crazy for Miss Thomas. And he couldn't blame them. God. He was ready to come just by watching her stand before him, anxious to feel his touch and to hear his command. Yes, sir, I am. Ah, the answer he had been waiting for. What would your husband think if he knew that you were standing here in my office waiting for me? He loved teasing and taunting her like this. He got a thrill out of making her squirm. She knew her husband would never find out, even with all of the idle gossip that has been spreading throughout the staff regarding their meetings here. Yes, he had overheard several times recently staff lounge talk, suspecting him and Miss Thomas of having an affair. And to be honest, it was none of their fucking business. They were both grown adults, and if they wanted to have a little fun at work, then it was his business, her business, not theirs. That didn't stop them. It didn't stop the two of them. The rumors, no. They just laughed about it when they shared what they each had heard. He would probably be upset, Mr. Cooper. Yet you're still here? He asked. He wanted to know what her response would be to this. Yes, because you're like a drug, and I'm addicted to you. Oh, fucking hell. Why'd she have to say that? Get over here, he commanded her, because there was no other word needing to be spoken. No, her answer to his question was all that needed to be said. She took the few remaining steps to him and stopped, keeping her eyes focused on his chest. Damn, Belle, I'm a married man, but I still can never get enough of you. He lifted her chin with his thumb, forcing her to look at him. You're my addiction too, he said, and then he captured her lips. Hers were soft and pliable beneath his. She leaned into him. He wrapped his arms around her, enveloping her in his embrace. Her body yielded to his physical command and the command to submit. He turned them around and pushed her back to lie down on his desk, their favorite place. He unbuttoned her blouse, exposing her full, firm breasts, confined within her see-through pink lace bra. The color was his favorite on a woman, and he knew that the panties she wore under the skirt would match. He growled as he deepened the kiss, never breaking contact as he worked to remove his shirt. He couldn't undress them fast enough. When he finally tossed his shirt on the floor, he went to work on her skirt, unsnapping it and pulling it off. It, too, was tossed on the floor, and he stood there relishing the sight before him, Belle, on his desk, and nothing but her lingerie set. Her lips swollen from his kisses, and her hair was a mess. And in the 3 years he had known her, the vision of her waiting like this never got old. What do you think your secretary is going to say right now? She asked him, the question colored with humor. She's most likely on the phone with one of the teachers in their classroom, filling them in on all the little sounds that you're making for me. They laughed together, knowing that he was more than likely correct on the assumption. His secretary was a busybody, and he knew that she'd be infuriated, and she'd be talking and telling the young teachers, who would then get jealous at the thought of him hitting on another person other than them. He overheard them plenty of times talking about what they would do to him if they had been given a chance. They also hated Belle because she was the one that he chose. They talk about her all the time, he had heard, and the talk was vicious. Are they still trashing you? He asked her as he slid her panties down her legs and threw them onto the pile building on the floor of their clothes. Oh yeah, she laughed. They don't like the fact that I'm a married woman playing around with a married man. He pulled her toward the edge of the desk so that her ass was hanging off slightly. She squealed a bit, but he quickly silenced her with a look. If you get any louder, we're sure to have them talking about this visit. Oh, well, they talk anyway. We may as well have some fun and get some pleasure out of it, right? She asked. Oh, yeah, couldn't agree more, he told her before going in for a taste. One long swipe of his tongue along her slick opening had him groaning and her moaning with pleasure. Damn, your taste is craveable, he said. And it was. It was warm and tangy with a little sweetness. The only thing better than having her juices on his tongue was having his cock sliding in and out of her. A few more licks and a nip on her clit, and he couldn't hold back any longer. He had to feel her again. He stood up, unzipped his pants, freed his erection. He didn't even bother with removing his slacks completely. He was in that much of a hurry. He lifted her legs and placed them on his shoulders, stepped in and positioned his rock-hard cock at her entrance, and slowly slid in home. Damn. She felt so good. Her warmth embracing him, welcoming him, covering him like a glove that was made just for him. He pulled out and slammed in her again and again. He kept up a steady pace for a while until he felt her walls clenching around him, hugging him tightly and trying to push him out. He knew she was close. He could feel her contracting around him. So he picked up the pace, thrusting faster and harder into her, punishing her, pleasuring them both. With one last surge into her warm, slick sex, they were both groaning and moaning out their climaxes. Fuck. The convulsions hit him hard, and the intensity of his orgasm nearly paralyzed him. Finally, when he had completely emptied himself, and she had released all that she could, He pulled out and walked to the bathroom to clean himself off. When he exited the bathroom to gather his clothing to dress, she was waiting for her turn. He glanced over his shoulder to watch her enter the bathroom, admiring again her firm, tight ass as she walked into the room and closed the door behind her. He quickly dressed, straightened his hair, and was just putting on his tie when the door opened and she walked out, looking like $1,000,000, completely satisfied and ready to get back to work. Not a hair out of place. "I'll see you tomorrow?" he asked. Part of him wanted to pull her back in and go for another round, but recess was over and she needed to get back to her class. "Yeah, you will." She smiled at him and opened his office door and left the room. He walked back to his chair to sit down. He had work to do, but the first thing he did was call his wife to leave her a message. Yeah, he had fun with Belle, or Miss Thomas, but he was still in love with his wife and wanted her to know it. After 4 rings, it went to her voicemail. When it prompted for him to leave a message, he did. "Hey, sweetheart, just wanted to call and tell you I love you. I'll see you at dinner." He hit the pound sign, then the number 1 to confirm that he wanted to send the message now, and then he hung up. There were a few parental complaints he needed to respond to via email, and then he could get ready to leave. Maybe if he were lucky, his wife would be in the mood for some fun with him tonight. Just because he got some from Belle didn't mean that he didn't want a little fun with his wife too. For more videos like this, like and subscribe and give a thumbs up. Hit the notification bell so you can get notified when I upload the next chapter. And remember, today was just one chapter of your story.